Hey guys, today I'm going to be sharing with you holistic hygiene habits that completely changed my life. The first one is oil pulling. Oil pulling simply means taking a spoonful of coconut oil, swishing it in your mouth, and then brushing your teeth after. Oil pulling is completely natural and it has a lot of benefits. There have been studies showing that people with deep cavities did oil pulling and they completely healed it naturally. I really recommend trying oil pulling. What do you have to lose? It's simple, it's quick, and it's completely natural. I also recommend pairing oil pulling up with another habit or another task. So for example, if you're doing it first thing in the morning, I recommend you do it first thing in the morning. You could pair it up with getting ready. Once you pair it up with another task, it makes it more time effective because you can get more things done in a shorter amount of time. Speaking of coconut oil, there are many different benefits for coconut oil. Some people like to use it for their skin, but today I want to talk to you about using it for your hair. Now, I don't wash my hair frequently, and I find that when I do wash my hair, I only use coconut oil based shampoos or sometimes even just coconut oil. Now, I don't wash my hair frequently because number one, I think that it builds natural oils, and I also find that the texture in my hair is healthier when I don't wash it frequently. That doesn't mean I still don't rinse my hair. I still clean my hair, just not with products, right? I try to limit how many products I put into my hair unless I really need to. But even when I do use products, it's completely natural. So I love using coconut oil, and also you can use rosemary oil. So after you're done washing your hair, you can just put a few drops of rosemary oil into your hair. Some people like to use argan oil, whatever works for you, but just a natural oil, and just kind of like take your hands and move it throughout your scalp, and this will help your hair grow and be healthier. Speaking of natural oils, let's move on to one of the most life-changing hygiene habits, which is essential oils. Growing up, I used colognes and synthetic fragrances, but once I made the switch into natural oils, that completely changed my life. And I personally recommend using the roll-on essential oils. I like that you can roll it on your skin because you don't need too much and you put it in certain areas where you want. Whereas I feel like once you spray it, it's not that precise in the area that it's on your skin. Now, another way you can use essential oils is to create a mist. Again, a lot of these mists that people buy, they are completely artificial, filled with a bunch of chemicals and horrible things. And what you can do is you can very simply make your own. You take a spray bottle, you fill it up with water, and you add a few drops of your essential oil, and you're gonna shake that in the bottle, and that's it. In terms of how many drops, that's up to your preference. If you want it to be a stronger scent of the oil, then add more drops. But if you want it to be more of a lighter scent, then you add a few less drops. So it's about experimentation and trial and error, but this is the general framework. Now we're going to move on to skincare. In the past, I used a bunch of different skincare products, moisturizer, sunscreen, etc. And these are all garbage. So what I recommend is switching into a natural gel. The natural route is the best route, and less is more. So now, the only product I use for my skin is natural skin gel. You could use aloe vera gel, eucalyptus gel, whatever you prefer. Once you switch from moisturizer to gel, you're switching from artificial skincare products that were made in a lab, in a factory with human intervention, to simply a natural gel that's completely derived from natural products. And once you make that switch, it makes a huge difference. Another skincare tip I have is castor oil. So you could use castor oil on your face, on different body parts, on wounds. You could even use it on your eyelashes, on your hair. It's very multifunctional and it's completely natural as well. Now, you need to be careful about the consistency of it because it is pretty thick, so it can clog your pores if you're not careful with how you dilute it. So some people like to dilute it with essential oils. They like to kind of create a mix in a little bottle with castor oil and a few drops of essential oil, and then they mix it up, and then that dilutes it, right? Some people are perfectly fine with the original texture of it and the original consistency of it. So it's all about trial and error and seeing what works for you. And by the way, when I say skincare, I don't just mean your face. A lot of people think skincare is only your face. Skincare is your whole body, right? So you can use these products on your whole body. With the castor oil and with the natural skin gel, these apply for your whole body. And I truly believe that if there's any product that says that you can only use it on your face but not the rest of your body, then that product is garbage. Because think about it. Why would you only be able to use it on your face, right? That doesn't make sense. Skin is skin. right? If it's good and if it's natural and if it helps, then it should be effective all throughout. Speaking of skincare, I want to talk about cold water, because I don't think people talk about cold water enough, and it's something that changed my life completely. Cold water helps your skin so much. I recommend taking cold showers, but if it's hard for you, you could even end your showers off with cold water. I'm gonna briefly explain the foundation. So you open your pores up with warm water and you close your pores up with cold water. A lot of people, when they take showers or they wash their face, they do it with warm water and then they leave their pores open. But you need to close the pores so nothing gets absorbed inside of them. So you always need to at least end it off with cold water. Cold water is not only good for your skin, but it's also good for your hair and for your nervous system. So if you ever want to feel energized or refreshed or get out of a rut, or you really just want a boost of energy, cold water puts your body into a state of shock, and that kind of re-energizes your nervous system. Cold water is also very good for your hair. I've noticed that when I use cold water for my hair, it made the texture better, it made it healthier and stronger, especially for curly hair. It makes a huge difference. And speaking of hair care, never put heat on your hair, always air dry. Same thing with your skin. Don't pat it with a towel or with a paper towel. It's the best to let it air dry. Alright, so we talked about quite a few different holistic hygiene habits. One more that I want to mention is the sunlight. A lot of people fear the sunlight, and it's complete propaganda. Sunlight is here for us. It's a natural part of creation, and it's an amazing tool to help you. Sunlight is an amazing tool that helps you holistically. So that means it doesn't just help you externally, but it helps you internally. It helps your mood, it helps your energy levels, it recharges you. It really does. Using the sunlight is an amazing tool to help heal your skin. And I'll give you a personal example. So I used to have sort of like eczema on my skin. It was like rashes, bumps, and I tried different skincare products. I tried different creams. None of it worked. It actually made it worse. So the only thing that helped was the sunlight. Didn't put sunscreen. I don't use sunscreen. I think it's complete bullshit. I just sat in the sun and I let the sun heal me. And the sun is here for us. You need to understand that all these people that are pushing sunscreen and saying that the sun is bad and this and that, it's not true. And people will try to push that because they know how powerful the sun is for you and how it can literally heal you, how it heals you, and how it recharges you. So they don't want you to tap into your true potential, and they don't want you to unlock that healing aspect, because then number one, they would lose their profits, and number two, you wouldn't be dependent on their system anymore. So they try to push this narrative of, oh, the sun is bad, the sun gives you XYZ disease. It's not true. Of course, everything in moderation. The sun is an amazing tool, and I really recommend you use the sunlight, not just for your external features, but for your internal features. Now, speaking of the sunlight, I do want to mention that if you're consuming seed oils, then that creates inflammation when it's in direct contact with sunlight. So a lot of the times, people will get horrible reactions when they're out in the sun, and they'll blame it on the sun. But it's simply not true. It's because they're consuming seed oils, and once those seed oils get absorbed in your body and then you're in direct contact with the sunlight, then that creates inflammation. The sun is not what creates inflammation. Seed oils is. Stop fearing the sun and eliminate seed oils completely. Now, speaking of nutrition, we're going to end this off by talking about holistic lifestyle. Even if you do all these holistic hygiene habits externally, but you're still not taking care of yourself internally, then that will reflect your external state, because your external reality is a reflection of your internal state, as within, so without. So basically this means that these are just things you do in addition to taking care of yourself internally. That's the first step. Clean nutrition, sunlight, moving your body, right? Holistic consumption, not just about what you're consuming physically, but mentally and spiritually too. The conversations, the music, the environment, all these things you're consuming, and your body transmutes it energetically. So it's very important to understand holistic consumption and the concept of as within, so without. All these tips that I'm giving you right now are only in addition to first laying the foundation of your internal consumption. So I hope this video helped you. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, and take care. Bye.